All right. So good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being a part of this webinar. Yeah, so it's so just to give you a brief background on this. No, actually later we'll get straight to it na. Para ano, so we don't take up the time. Right. So again, feel free to be on the chat. We're broadcasting on Zoom for those who are following us live. We're also broadcasting in a private Facebook group as part of our coaching call for our Facebook ads coaching program. All right. So let me just share my screen. May pa-PowerPoint yan. Para hindi din kayo nakastare sa face ko this whole time. So I'll be turning off the video. All right, so they can focus on on the main thing that will be showing. So good evening everyone. Just to get started, no, especially for those that don't know me, though I did post this on my Facebook profile. For those that don't know me, my name is Julian Cañita. Most people know me as a Facebook ad strategist and coach. I'm also the Chief Awesomeness Officer of Julian Cañita Marketing Solutions. So that is our Facebook advertising agency. And I'm also a personal branding consultant. But for tonight, we will be stripping those all off. And tonight I'm here as the creator of Dream Nation PH. What is Dream Nation? Dream Nation basically is a movement I started last year. And my dream for Dream Nation is to create a nation of dreamers where we see ourselves not for whatever limitations we think we have or what the limitations that other people impose on us, but we see ourselves for limitless possibilities. And that's my dream. And if you want to support us, there are a number of ways to support us. You can like us on Facebook. On Facebook, on our Facebook page, you'll actually see a series of videos we did last December, November to December. It was a movement that we started, and the idea lang is to post videos of you doing something that you've always wanted to do, but you've been fearing judgment. So we created the Judge Me movement. If this is something you want to be a part of, just you're free to join us. It's just really shedding off the fear of fear of judgment. We also have a Facebook group under Dream Nation PH. If you'd like to join us, please look for us on Facebook. We also have a podcast. What we're recording now is actually going to be part of the podcast as well, as the first episode for 2020. So if this is something that you want to subscribe to, please do. No? I'd be grateful. And of course, if you want to, if you feel that this is something that's helpful, something that you like, then we'd love to hear from you, a review that would help us and the podcast as well. All right. So again, thank you for being here tonight. Let's get straight to what we will be talking about, which is goal setting. And I'm pretty sure na if you're here, you've probably had other people have this kind of setup then in goal setting. I mean, a lot of people are doing it. Because it's really a good way to start the year as well as the decade. Setting your goals na parang when you will be going somewhere, it's good to have a direction, diba? So that's basically what I want to share. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this publicly and share it with the students of the coaching program as well is I've been doing it for some of my mastermind students and some of the students of the program as well. And one of the feedback I got was that it was so different from how most people, from how we know goal setting to be. And it looked like it was very helpful. So I'm going to share that with you tonight, or as you're listening to this. I'm going to share that with you, that particular process that we went through, that different goal setting process. And who knows, it might, the hope is that it will help you this particular year, especially if you're like me, na mag-set ng goals, tapos, wala, either I don't follow through or whatever. No. This is the first time I'll be doing it as well and to share with you, the first couple of weeks of the year, I felt like it has made an impact to me, and it seems I know it feels like something that is more sustainable. No? So again, there will be some simple exercises lang then if you would want to write them down, or if you would want to share them in the chat, that would be good. That would be helpful. No? However way you want to learn. My request lang is whether you do share your answers or whether you choose to keep it for yourselves, my request lang is that you do this very, very honestly. So we will be talking about feelings. I will be asking you how you feel with a certain situation or scenario. And when you answer it, again, whether it's in the chat or just within yourself, be honest with what you're feeling, because that is what will make this work. All right. So before we get into the actual process, I will share with you. I want to share first why we tend to fail at goal setting, particularly in the goal setting level. Kasi for me, for example, goal setting, feeling ko, okay, sige. But where sometimes I fail at is in the implementation. Diba? So this is just talking about the goal setting in itself. So, and why we tend to fail at goal setting. Two main reasons. Number one, we set goals from the past. Meaning, for example, let's say this year I did 5 million in revenue. So last year I made 5 million in revenue. Let's say what's a realistic growth for me? I'll do 10% growth. Yeah, so this year ang target ko is 5.5 million in revenue. And most companies, as I understand, ganun sila mag-set. So nothing will change. It's just, ito yung growth natin tayo last year eh. Di mag-grow tayo this year. But nothing much will change, but it's going to be the same processes pa din. And then part of it will just really be hoping na mag-increase yung sales or mag-increase yung revenue. And that's goal setting from the past. Na para you're letting your past dictate how your future should be. No? So, I mean, that's one thing I believe is what we fail at. No? That's why usually medyo limited lang talaga yung growth. 10% growth or 20% growth every year. Again. Number two is we set goals based on outcomes which are beyond our control. I'll give you an example. Ano yung pinaka-common na goals? I just gave an example kanina. 5 million revenue, money, or weight. Parang I want to weigh 70 kilos by the end of 2020. Now, yung money, if you think about it, depending on how you're looking at it, let's say revenue, then that would mean that if it's revenue, it's part of your business and it's basically someone giving you money. Diba? Yes, you can influence that with you being able to improve your sales skills, you being able to get more leads and improve your business development. But at the end of it, no, it's still someone else saying, yes, I want to avail of your service or I want to buy your product and here's the money. No, na parang even if we do everything, the decision is still on the hands of the buyer or the client. So in essence, it is not within our control. Same with weight, diba? Though it feels like something within our control kasi tayo mag-exercise, tayo yung magawa ng diet. But even if we do all these, it can be a result na hindi tayo mag-lose ng weight or hindi makuha yung ideal na weight. And what tends to happen is, sabihin natin, wala, hindi mangyayari to, and then we give up, no? At least for me. No? Pag hindi lumalabas yung weight. Because at the end of it, the end result that we're aiming is not entirely within our control. And that's why I feel one reason why we fail at goal setting and there's a tendency to give up. No? So what I'm going to share with you today is something that, it's goal setting not from the past, and it's goal setting based on something that we can control. So it's basically setting ourselves up for success. Okay? So, okay, game. Are you ready? Again, feel free to chat. I believe I can check out the chat naman, pero just for interactiveness. Are you ready? Please comment yes if you are. Yes. All right. Yes. Parang din alam ko kung ano yung today. Okay. So I'll be checking the chat from time to time just so I get to see your answers. And again, it's up to you if you want to respond or not. Okay. So first things first. write down what you want to achieve by December 31, 2020. Now, so these can be the goals that you have already set, or these can be specific items or achievements. You know? I'll throw out some examples as you write them down. And again, if you want to write them in the comments, please feel free to do so. No? It can be money, no? 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 100 million, and it's up to you. It can be a house, a car. It can be launching your business. It can be, if you're single, maybe a boyfriend or a girlfriend. For those of you who want to share some of your answers, feel free to do so sa chat. But yeah, what I want you to do is write down what you want to achieve by the end of the year. Okay? To be a bit more specific, not to be a bit more specific, what has to happen by the end of this year, by December 31, 2020, for you to be able to say, na, man, that was a really great year. This was a really successful year, achieved a lot. So what specifically has to happen for you? And again, the more real it is, the more specific it is for you, I think the better this will go. Now, so for Joel, it's shifting from traditional to digital business, all right? Yeah, give you a couple of more seconds if you want to share sa chat or just want to keep it for your own notes. Write down what you want to achieve by December 31, 2020. For Brian, it's to earn 6 figures per month in freelancing consistently. Okay, it's a very good goal. Yes, 12 midnight by December 31, 2020. Okay, for Shay, it's a successful partnership with a prospect planning to build a virtual staffing in the Philippines. Successful partnership, all right. For JV, it's a life and non-life insurance business earning at least 60,000 using digital strategies. Okay, so any more? 100K monthly income for Alda. All right, thank you. Thank you guys for sharing. Move to a new house by December 2020. 60K a month for JV, to clarify, all right. Okay, move to a new house for Karen. Okay. From Anne Lee. I want to launch our business online and earn 7 figures by December 31, 2020. All right. So, thank you guys. Okay. So look at your list. Look at your list. These are the things that you said that you want to achieve by the end of December 31, 2020. Now, what I want you to do next is to imagine having achieved all of that at the end of the year. So you mentioned all of those. Let's say nangyari na siya. Let's say it's December 31, a few minutes to midnight, and you look at the past year. Nagawa mo siya. If it helps you to close your eyes, please do. Whatever works for you. Na-achieve mo siya. Oh, by the way, since this is recording also for the podcast, if you are driving, please do not close your eyes. So I want you to imagine having all of these achievements na by the end of December 31, 2020. Okay? So imagine mo may pa-party ka, 100 a month income ka, may budget ka pang New Year's Eve party with all your friends, all your family, you celebrating what a great year that you had. Shucks, this was really my year. Ang ganda ng 2020. So imagine that, pa-fireworks na, and then you're just basking in all the successes you've had for the past year. Okay? Try to have that image, because what I want you to do is to recognize what you are feeling. So what are you feeling? Again, what will work here is that you're honest with what you're feeling. Again, imagine you have, nakuha mo sila lahat at the end of 2020. What are you feeling? What are you telling yourself? Okay? Again, this could be something that's for you, or this is something you want to share with the chat. Brian would be happy and excited. Okay? Very good. What are you feeling? Again, if you can put words into it and if you can really feel it, no? Like for me, for example, I'll be honest, feeling ko sobrang galing ko. Galing-galing ko. Nagawa ko lahat to. Fulfilled for Karen, grateful and happy for Shari. Matt, what would you be feeling? Proud of myself. Yes, for Joyce. Galing ko. Grateful for Alda, accomplished, sabi ni Danny. I'll feel confident and secure, sabi ni Mila. All right. So what I want you to do is to really feel these things that you're feeling. Hold on to it. No? Because what I want you to do next is to now imagine having achieved all of this, not ng December 2020, but by June of 2020. What you set out for the whole year, yung target mo for the whole year, nagawa mo siya ng half the year. Same scenario except wala mga fireworks in each new year unless gusto mo pa fireworks. But again, what I want you to imagine now is instead of December 2020, I want you to imagine having all of this ng end of June 2020. Yan, party with all your friends, celebrating. Yung year-end targets ko, nakuha ko siya ng half the year. What are you feeling now? How different are you feeling now? If different now. From JV, I'll tell myself it's about time, happy and amazed by God's favor. For Ali, it's ecstatic and feeling really blessed. For Shari, pambihira, super duper happy. Yeah? Like for me, imagine mo, sobrang proud ako sa sarili ko at the end of 2020. Trying to imagine it now. End of June, nakuha ko yung sinabi ko. Gosh, I don't know, para I'd be super out of this world. Ako, ang galing. Parang sobrang, ang galing-galing. Sobrang grateful, sobrang happy. That's me. Now, for Annalie, it's celebrating with her family. Alda, it's going to be amazed. For Karen, damn, I can't believe I got this far by just half of the year. For Annie, feeling limitless. For Mila, I feel so blessed and even more confident to take on more challenges. For Maricel, overwhelmed. So thank you for your answers. And again, what I want you to do is really to embrace this feeling, and really envision this moment. No? Envision this moment, when nakuha mo siya, you feeling limitless, amazed, grateful, all these feelings. All right? Because what I want you to do is to imagine seeing yourself at point B. This person that we're feeling now, si June 2020 version na to, this is our point B. This is where we want to get to. We're now at point A, we are going to journey to point B. And who is point B? See, point B is this person who has achieved everything that we want to achieve by the end of June 2020. Okay? So, yun ang definitions natin. Ha? Right now, this is our point A. What we want to get to is point B, which is the person who has achieved everything that we want to achieve, but has achieved it in 6 months. So, yeah. This is point A, that is point B. Imagine seeing yourself. Imagine seeing it from third person. Yourself, this person, si Julian, for me, for example, si Julian, try seeing this person, celebrating, feeling all these things that you said, that we said we're feeling. Ang question ko is, what 2 or 3 qualities does this person possess that allowed him or her to get those achievements? Now, again, we're looking at this person sa point B. What I want you to try and identify is, what does this person possess? Anong qualities na meron siya that you believe allowed this person to get those achievements? No? I'll share you mine. No? Mine, I believe that this person my point B, Julian at point B, is very committed with whatever he wants to do, committed. Very trusting. He trusts his own strengths, his own power, and yeah. And he's very courageous. Everything that me at point A is afraid to do, he just goes ahead and does it. No? And for me, those are the 3 qualities that this person possesses. For Fer, it's determined and confident. For JV, it's trusting, faithful, committed, and disciplined. For Brian, it's someone with clarity, someone with confidence, and someone who is certain. For Danny, it's someone who's taking action and someone who doesn't procrastinate. For James, it's consistency, someone who has focus and someone who has commitment. For Mila, it's someone with perseverance, right? So thank you for those answers. So yeah, so we identified all those. For Alda, it's someone who's organized, someone who's focused, and someone who's disciplined. Okay, so why am I asking you to identify this? Yeah? Because later on, this I'll share with you why this is helpful. Before that, as you note these 1, 2, 3, or 4 qualities, I'd like you to also start thinking about what is your measure of these qualities. Meaning, for example, again, I identified for my point B, it's committed, courageous, and trusting. So I would ask myself, what is my measure of being committed, of being trusting, and being courageous? No? Meaning, another way to phrase that is, how do I say that a person is committed, trusting, and courageous? Diba? For me, for example, a committed person is someone who does whatever it takes. Diba? From and then Avengers. Yeah? Avengers doing whatever it takes. That for me is committed. Someone who's courageous is someone who is not afraid to go after what they believe they should be doing. No? And then finally, someone who's trusting is someone na very confident na alam niya na magaling siya without any yabang, and he really trusts his skills, and yeah, very trusting. How about you? What is your measure of these qualities? Okay, from Joel, I really need help. I really need your qualities, guys. Medyo hindi pa siya masyadong clear for me. Okay, so basically, what traits lang does this person have at point B? The person who has who has achieved the goals that you've set for 2020. What type of person, what type of qualities or traits does this person have that allowed him or her, or for your case, that allowed Joel at point B to get those results? You can check sa chat yung answers ng other people: trusting, faithful, committed, confident, certain. Yeah. Okay. So again, start to think about what your measure are. What is your measure for these qualities? Committed, courageous, and trusting. All right. So yeah. Okay. Game. We'll go to the next. Lastly, what I want you to ask is, and this is more really of your vision for yourself, what type of person is this person at point B? No? What I mean by this question is, what is your vision for yourself? No? Is your vision for yourself I'll give you some examples. A 6-figure entrepreneur, a 7-figure freelancer, the Philippines' best financial advisor. Just really, what type of person is this? Really just put a label, but it's something that one of your aspirations. Yeah? Entrepreneur, freelancer, and again, you can, just to help other people brainstorm, if you can put your answers: thought leader in entrepreneurship. Okay, I'll share you mine as well. Mine is to be an inspiring and empowering leader in all aspects of my life. So for Brian, it's being a thought leader in entrepreneurship. Okay. I'll give you a few seconds to think more on this answer. What type of person is this? JV, the insurance go-to guy, all right? Like ako, what worked for me last year was the vision of point B was the #1 Facebook ads guy. So that was my vision. Now, don't be afraid if parang you're feeling, ay, hindi ako pwede mag #1 Facebook ads guy, si Julian na yan, or si ganyan na yan. Kasi this is your vision, diba? So, it's completely up to you, right? Anyone else want to share theirs? Okay, sige. So we'll move. I'll give you a bit of, okay, so from Alda, from FB Ads Builder to FB Ads Strategist with confidence. All right. Sige. So just to put it in a statement, no, just to be able to define it, what I want you to do is to identify me, so kaya ako si Julian, me at point B is a blank, blank, and blank. Blank. So itong first three blanks, diyan ko ilalagay yung qualities that I identified. And then the final blank is the who you aspire to be or yung the type of person at point B. So again, my example is me, Julian. Me at point B is a courageous, committed, and trusting leader in all aspects of his life. Yeah? Me at point B, I am a, so let's see some of the answers ng iba. Like for example, yan si Brian. So I'll use Brian as an example. So Brian at point B, based on what he has identified, Brian at point B is someone with someone with clarity, clear, confident, and certain thought leader in entrepreneurship. For JV naman, JV at point B is a trusting, faithful, committed, and disciplined go-to insurance guy. Yeah. Shari, it's being an in-demand bookkeeping. So basically, the past two answers for the questions, we'll just put it in a sentence. So for Ali, it's a breath of fresh air, an inspiring entrepreneur who helps build a bright future for Filipino families. All right. Okay. So pause muna tayo dito before we get into the goal na we talked about. Because I want to share with you a concept lang that will really drive this home. Well, I hope that it drives it home. No? Because if you look back on the list of the goals, yung list of stuff that you want to achieve by the end of 2020, these are all results. Whatever we have now, these are all results that we have. Whatever we aspire for, yung mga achievements na gusto natin, the money, the house, the title, the relationships, these are all results. Now, ang question ko is, these are all results of what? Anyone want to share? Para lang, interactive. Whatever we have, these are all results. But results of what? Okay. So these are all results of our behaviors and habits. For example, having a house, that's a result of buying the house. That's an action. So buying the house. How did you have the money to buy the house? That's the result. The money is a result of probably the work you do. Whatever we have, everything we have are all results of what we do. Or our actions, our behaviors, our habits, or specifically our actions. But what I feel, based on talking to some people, what I feel that is missing from the equation is that our behaviors and habits, they actually stem from our identity. You don't have to answer this as a chat, but like in the podcast, I used this a couple of times already. And this is not an original concept. No, I got it from a guy named Jim Fortin. Sabi niya, to look at yourself and see whether in the past, for example, 72 hours, did you smoke? Nagyosi ka ba? And whether your answer to that is yes or no, whatever, if I ask you, ba't hindi ka nagyosi? Or ba't ka nagyosi? It will all stem from, like ako, hindi ako nagyosi, I didn't smoke because I'm not a smoker. If your answer is yes, you did smoke, maybe today or in the past 72 hours, if you did smoke, in the very essence of it, the reason why you smoke is because you are a smoker. That's your identity. And that's why I wanted to do this goal setting this way. Because our identity, how we see ourselves determine our actions. And our actions determine our results. You might have heard me tell the story before kasi it's something that's real to me talaga. Na parang before, I did not want to identify myself as an entrepreneur until I had a client. No? So I tried to do the busy work of doing the business rather than really getting clients. Until someone asked me, hey, what do you do? Sabi ko, I just, wala akong job nun. Sabi ko, I just stay at home. But my wife reminded me na parang sabi niya, hey, wait lang. Bakit yun yung sinabi mo? You are an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter whether you have clients or not. But the fact is, on an identity level, I was an entrepreneur. Sabi ko naisip ko, oh nga, no? So sige. The next day, I really went into it na parang me thinking na and believing that I was an entrepreneur. And my actions changed. My actions changed. Now, what would an entrepreneur do? Wala akong clients, then I'll go find clients. And of course, the result was that I was able to build a business. Well, it was a different business at the time. But yun yung framework na gusto ko i-share. Identity will always follow our actions. From our identity, doon magbe-base yung actions natin. Think about all the things you've been doing today. Those usually stem from who you believe yourself to be. If you work remotely, that's because you know that you're a freelancer. Diba? If you believe yourself to be an entrepreneur, would there be any difference in the way you do things? I don't know. Worth a try. Diba? And the change in these actions will be what determines our results. That's why, just to dig deeper on this now, there are a lot of coaching programs, whether the skills related, whether it's Facebook ads, email marketing, freelancing, wherein lahat ng mga ginagawa ng coach or what they did before, nilalatag na nila lahat. No, all the actions are there. But how come in some coaching programs, it's the same lessons for everyone, but some find success in it and some don't. No? And the actions are all the same naman. That's because agkakaiba sila at an identity level. No? Meaning, are you someone who believes that you can do it? Are you someone who believes that you can achieve it? Or are you someone who believes na, ay, hindi gana sa akin yan? So malaking bagay ito. Okay, so I wanted to share that kasi this is the concept that I wanted to share with regards to this goal setting. No? Because the goal, again, we talked about some of them, how we usually do goals before. And usually the goal is to have this, have that. But for me, and this is something personal talaga, the goal is to be the person in point B. Diba? That's why I wanted you to identify who the person in point B is. Because that person in point B is the person that does all the things that he or she needs to do to achieve all the things that they want to achieve. So the idea is that the goal is to be that person in point B. The goal is to experience ourselves with the qualities that we identified from point B. So which is why the way I recommend doing goal setting is to focus on the person that you want to be. Focus on that person in point B. Okay? And we create, we do the goal that will allow us to experience that. Like for me, again, I'll create a goal that will allow me to experience myself being committed, being trusting, and being courageous. No? So for example, for me, my goal for 2020, and this is really my goal for 2020. My goal is to do 20 terrifying things that shake me to my core. And this is something medyo duwag kasi talaga ako as naman duwag, pero there are a lot of things that I fear, from heights to whatever. So my personal goal for 2020 is to do 20 terrifying things. Because again, I want to experience myself at point B. I want to be courageous, I want to be committed, and I want to be trusting. And doing these 20 things that will scare me will allow me to see na, shit, I am courageous, I am committed, I am trusting. Okay? Okay, so baka some of you are thinking, and I had this question myself. So am I saying nakalimutan na lahat ng gusto kong i-achieve? Of course not. That is the basis for our goal setting. So when we write down our goals, I would write it something like this. I would put what I want to achieve in mind and just to always remind me of the person that I want to be or my goal. No? My goal, for example, for 2020, in terms of the achievements, I didn't get to share it earlier pala. No? Pero it's basically syempre, to have a profit. My current businesses to profit ng madami. For my business ideas to launch. So I still have businesses I will launch this year. For my podcast to have 1,000 followers, to be able to speak in a number of stages. So those are the goals that I want to achieve. And in essence, for me, my goal as a person is to be an inspiring and empowering leader. No? And that encompasses the things I want to achieve. No? As an inspiring and empowering leader, I have successful businesses, I get to talk on stage, I have podcast followers. So I write my goal still with what I want to achieve in mind. No? So for example, for me, this is mine. As an inspiring and empowering leader who is committed, trusting, and courageous, I will do 20 terrifying feats that shake me and scare me this 2020. So what I going to do, yung goal ko talaga, yung mga gagawin ko is written, but at the same time, the person I want to be or the things I want to achieve are here. Now, for example, ibang example. As a future homeowner, in Novali, for example, as a future homeowner in Novali who is committed, trusting, and responsible, I will explore 20 new ways of earning income this 2020. And if you noticed, the goal is really focused on something that's within your control. For me, it's doing 20 things. For the example that I just did, it's exploring 20 new ways of earning money rather than an actual amount. Because the 20 things that will help you explore money, that's something within your control, something that sets you up for success. But at the same time, naka-focus ka on the goal that you want to achieve, which is to be able to buy a house. That's mine. What's yours? And again, this might be something you want to think on. This is being recorded. Or if you've come up with something that you want to do or you want to aim for, you're free to share it. But again, the point of all this is, yes, let's focus on what we want to achieve. That helps us get to our North Star or the goals that we want, basically. But what I am proposing, and with this style, if you may, the style of goal setting is not to put the whole focus on what you want to achieve, but on the person that you want to be, or the person that will allow you to have those results. And I don't know, for me, of course I can speak for everyone, and this is what I wanted to share then. For me, it was a different experience. It was definitely a different experience when I focused on myself, focused on the person that I needed to be to get the things that I wanted to have. All right? So does anyone want to share their thoughts on this? Actually, yun lang yun. Yun na yung, that's it. That is my own version. Not mine. I know a lot of people doing it this way, pero my own version of doing goal setting. Yes, let's focus on what we want to achieve, but let's not forget or let's aim for the person that we want to be. All right? Any thoughts? I'm happy to entertain any thoughts, reactions, sharing. How do you feel again? I mean, if you feel na parang, ay, okay, yun lang pala yun. Okay lang. I mean, that helps me. So for sharing, it was helpful. So thank you. I know of some na parang, the reason why I wanted to share it kasi some of the students I've had na ginawa namin to, really one of the big words was empowering. And again, as an inspiring and empowering leader, that's my vision for myself. So I wanted to bring this. No? From JV, yeah. So JV was one of the guys that we did do this. No? So nag-call kami ni JV. I had this written on my wall. Nasimula nung nag-coaching tayo last December. I read it every day. No? So well, I'm happy to hear that you read it every day, and that's why it's very important to have it written, even with yung vision board. I'm about to redo my vision board for 2020. And this is part of why we do vision boards. Then it's really to embrace that feeling. Diba? It's exactly like what we did earlier. There's sometimes people just do vision boards. This is how I did vision boards before. Just do a vision board, look at it, and then hopefully it comes. No? But really, if you do a vision board, keep this in mind, like what we did kanina. Do your vision board, and then think about what it would feel like when you finally get all this. No? Kasi again, so what I shared with you, your identity, behavior, results, that's medyo brain thing. Eh. That's how the brain kind of works. No? But if you're also like me, who believes in the law of attraction, that's why vision boards work. Now, vision boards work because the universe is a feeling universe. One of my teachers told me that feelings is the language of the universe. And the more you feel something, the more the universe gives it to you. That's why when we have bad days, there's a tendency for it to become a worse day. Ganyan. So, yeah. Medyo nag-digress, pero yan, yung vision boards, and then with this goal statement as well, na remember, part of the goal statement is the person you are looking to be. Right? So thank you. From Karen, I agree, everything starts with who we think we are. I think it's very important. It's not necessarily just who we are. It's who we think or who we believe ourselves to be. If you believe you're limitless, yeah, that's true. Don't, even if other people say na you're limitless ka dyan, diba? You don't have to listen to them. Who you believe yourself to be. Diba? Totally agree. For Annalie, I can stop sharing. For Banj, thank you. It was super helpful. Thank you as well. Again, thank you for being here and participating. From my side, this is quite deep. I need more time to answer some of the questions, but this is really good. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. For those of you who are attending here who signed up, I'll give you a copy of the recording, like Mary said, if you feel that you need to redo this. But yeah, I'd love to hear about what you think of it and how it helps you as you go along. I love how you asked us to see the point B person as third person. It made me really think, what qualities do I need to have to achieve my goals? Thank you. That is good feedback for me. So yeah, I'll leave you guys to your night. Yeah, for Cindy, thank you for sharing. I need to do a deep talk with myself to clarify what I want to be, what I want to achieve this year particularly. Very timely since I am about to lay out my vision board for the year. All right. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, I look forward to your year. So happy New Year, everyone. And I wish you well on your goals. So bye, guys. All right. Bye-bye.